Now that we've learned all about the basic color wheel, we have our primary colors, our secondary colors, and our tertiary colors. Let's make an optical illusion color wheel just like this. How to make the lines for your optical illusion. So you're going to begin by just finding the center, and it's okay if it's a little bit off center, and we need to make 12 lines. So the easiest way to do that is to make a big X across your paper going all the way to the edges, and then in between each section you're going to make the letter V touching the center of your X. So in this section, here's my V. This section, I'm going to do a sideways V. In this one, I'm going to do an upside down V. And in this one, I'm going to do a sideways V also. Okay? It's okay if your sections are not equal, but you should definitely have 12 lines. So count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. So now to create that optical illusion, we need to start drawing these curved lines. The bigger the curve, the better it will look. In other words, here we go. I am going to make a curve here, and then I'm going to keep going this way all the way to the end. Now, I don't want my line to be straight because it's not going to give me that illusion of a hill or a valley. Now, it's going to be two different kinds of curved lines, so stay with me here. I'm going to do a curve, and at the very end, I can make it look like my curve is coming off the edge of the paper. Now, I'm going to do that to every other section, the same curve. Curve. And you kind of want to try and have the same amount of lines. It's okay if you don't, but so once you have done those curves, now you're going to do the same thing in the other blank spaces, but your curves are going to go in the opposite direction. So it gets a little tricky, but make sure you just take your time and you follow along. So instead of doing the curve coming out, I'm going to do the curve in the opposite direction. And I want to connect this curve to this one. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to curve in the opposite direction. And remember, the bigger the curve, the more interesting your optical illusion. Now, I have a line here, but I don't have one to connect to here. That's okay. It's going to come off the edge of the paper. Now, before you pull out your colors, this is really important so that you do not get confused. What you're going to do is with your pencil, now I am using a marker and a dry erase board because it is much easier for you to see on the video, but what you're going to do with your pencil very lightly is you are going to write the letter of your colors so that when you do begin coloring, you will not be confused. So let's start with the primary colors. Remember, the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. So you can decide where you want your red to be, but I am going to put the letter R right here for my red. And then I'm going to skip over 3 sections, and then I'm going to do my yellow. So I'm going to put a Y. I'm going to skip 3 sections, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to write the letter B for blue. So now I have my primary colors. When I go to color, I know that this section will be blue, this one yellow, this one red. Now secondary colors. So if I mix red and yellow, I get orange. So I'm going to put that right in the center. I need to leave room for my tertiary colors. If I mix yellow and blue, I get green. These are my secondary colors. If I mix red and blue, I get violet or purple. Remember, violet and purple are the same thing. Now it's time for my tertiary colors, which is a mix of primary and secondary. So red and orange will give me a red-orange. Orange and yellow will give me a yellow-orange. Yellow and green will give me a yellow-green. And sometimes the crayon might say green-yellow. It doesn't really matter. I always like putting the primary color first, and then green and blue give me green-blue, and blue and violet give me blue-violet, and red and violet give me red-violet. Now the trick to making this look like an optical illusion is to show value. Remember, value is the lightness or darkness of a color. So you want to go from dark to medium to light to white. So you want to make sure that you have that white right in the center of each of your sections to make it look like a reflection and to make it look either like it's round or like it's a valley. Okay, so that is the first trick, showing value. Dark, medium, light. The second trick is making sure that you're coloring in the direction of your lines. For example, I'm going to start over here with the purple or the violet, and I'm going to show you exactly what I am going to do. So right here, I am going to press really hard with my crayon, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And it's not a lot of space here, so it's not giving me a lot of room to show dark, medium, and light. So for this one, I'll just go dark and light, okay? And then I'm gonna go to the next section, so I'm gonna skip, and I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna go dark, and you can see I'm coloring in the direction of this curve. Dark on one side, and dark on the other side. And then I'm going to press just a little bit lighter to get a medium value. And then very light. And again, leaving white in the center. Over here, you'll get a better idea once I start to get bigger. Again, I'm going and coloring in the direction of the curve. So dark, medium, and light. And you do the same thing to the other side. Dark, medium, and light. And you're going to do the same thing with the black in between. So dark, and as you get further away, your sections become a little bit bigger. Medium. You really want to make sure you have at least 3 values. You don't want to go just from dark to light. Over here you can, but over here where you have a bigger section, you definitely want to show dark, medium, and then light. Try and get as light as you can. And then the same thing on the other side. Dark, medium, and light. And truly, I think value is one of the most important elements of art. It really changes the look of your artwork. And now you're going to do the same thing with the black. Dark, medium, light, dark, medium, light. Okay, now that you have everything colored, we're gonna do just one extra little thing to it. So you're gonna run your black crayon right along the edge of your lines that separate your colors, okay, nice and carefully. And then what you're going to do is you're gonna take your black and you are going to blend it in to the darkest value of your color. And that is going to give you a shade. So a shade is when you mix black with a color. A tint would be when you mix white with a color. But today we are making shades because we really want to play on that optical illusion as much as we can. So I am going to gently mix my black with the darkest value of my color. So I'm only doing it on the very edge where my dark value is. And I'm not pressing really hard because I don't want to cover up my color. I just want my black to mix in with the color to create those nice shadows in between.